Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
How you guys doing? I hope everyone is off to a pretty good week this week. We are here with season 2 of Stranger Things, and we are about to jump into chapter 4, Will the Wise. But again, just want to give a quick shout out to all of you who have been following us on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. We thank you for your support there. If you could just find a way to share one of those reels or shorts, or take this episode and share it to somebody else, we would really appreciate it as we're starting to grow this community out.
Yeah, and we also talk about Friends twice a week. So if you're interested in hearing us get really nerdy about those episodes and just go real into the details in a way that I know I really haven't before, get into all the
oh yeah, I mean, it gets weird over there sometimes.
We've talked. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun with that, and we would love to have you join us. But today, so as Eric said, we're talking about Stranger Things, and I just want to do a quick recap of where we left things off in the last episode. We had Bob advising Will to stand up to what's scaring him in what he thinks are his nightmares. 11 decided to leave the cabin and find the school. Jonathan and Nancy contacted Barb's mom, knowing the government was most likely listening to their phone call, and they were. Hopper learned that the center of all of those dead pumpkin patches is actually the Department of Energy. No surprise to anyone there, I don't think. And Dart grew legs and escaped from the kids at the school just as 11 was arriving, but didn't tell anyone, so no one saw her there. And meanwhile, Dustin found Dart, but didn't tell the group. Big no-no for Dustin there. And lastly, Will got completely enveloped in that dust tornado that at this point in the show, we don't really know what's going on there, but he has been completely encased by it. And it, after it was like chasing him in the Upside Down. So that's where we left things. And we're going to pick things up in this episode right at that point.
Oh yeah, there's no gap of time between these episodes. We are like rocking in with Joyce peeling into this place. But I will say, the whole Dustin and Dart thing still throws me. Like, it just doesn't seem like something his character would do. Keep that from somebody.
Agreed. Because he was such a team player in the first season that it's like, why? He would be the last person I would think to do
I
that.
would have made an argument. Now, maybe you're just showcasing, hey, these are just kids.
A certain side of
kids
him.
make mistakes and they do different things.
That's right. Yep.
You might have been able to argue that Lucas would have done this because in the first season, we saw Lucas go out on his own, doing his own research at the Department of Energy. And I don't know that I would have been thrown by it as much if it had been him. But Dustin was so much the, hey, we've got to stick together guy. That for him to be keeping these secrets is crazy.
Agreed. And Lucas, more than anything, that's a great point. And he might have even just like killed it or tried to
he probably would have
take it out, because it's like he's always coming in with the logic where it's like, hey, this is the best, like the easiest way to fixing our problem, and really just in his mind, right? So you had Elle in the first season where it's like, all right, well, this is one part of the equation that wasn't here before. If we remove it, it might fix everything. That's kind of his mindset. So I would think that you're right. He would be the one more than anyone to potentially make this move, right? But Dustin, it just doesn't feel right.
I mean, or Mike, to be fair. Mike would have done this too. I mean, he successfully hid Elle from his parents all this time. Would he have also hid something like Dart from his friends? It's possible. Will? No.
Yeah. Or maybe just told Will.
Yeah, Will's not going to do it. Dustin just doesn't seem like the guy to do it. And maybe that's why it's such a compelling storyline. But I do think, I guess after today's episode, Dustin's going to think,
Oh.
I might have made a mistake.
Oh, I get really, really upset with Dustin.
Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do.
Oh, it is just, it's too much. It's too much.
Well, let's jump into it then. Let's just start getting our way there.
So we start with Joyce. You know, she has raced to the school at this point because she knows that something is going on with Will. They find him in the field, just standing there, almost in some type of trance. And Joyce is just pleading with him, you know, to try to get him to wake up, right? So, you know, we're down because it really, I guess, to kick things off also, we're racing down the hall at the school and from the AV club room, and we're hearing the kids shouting for Will. So Mike is trying to revive him initially. He's out there already. And then, you know, Joyce is saying, you know, wake up, it's Mom. Can you hear me? And there's flashes of the upside down. So as a viewer, we're kind of going back and forth from Will's perspective to outside in the field. And the rest of the kids are just standing around in a circle looking really scared. It's just sort of panning around to everyone and no one knows what to do. And then suddenly Will wakes up. And that's when we get the credits. So there was less show before the credits this time around. It happened pretty quickly. But still, just a lot was packed into
it. It's by time a shorter episode by about 10 minutes. It was only like 48 minutes or so. So this is a much shorter episode than some of the others. But usually there's like one per season that's a little bit shorter that just is kind of like getting from A to B. So it's very interesting because I feel like you see that reaction from all the kids standing around Will, and it's the same sort of reaction you would see if they were all standing around somebody having some sort of medical emergency.
Well, that's right.
Except they don't even know what the protocol is here. Like this is not medical. This is mental, sort of.
That's right.
Like, maybe, question mark. Like, I'm not even sure that it's
no one, right, and no one is going to know exactly how to fix this or what to do. And a lot of that is what we see in this episode, too. So, you know, the kids are then taking note, saying, hey, he's been having these episodes a lot more in the last couple of days. It seems like it's getting worse. And Lucas is asking Mike if he thinks it's true sight, which we mentioned in the last episode. I know, Eric, you had pointed that out. And, you know, Max is asking, well, what does that mean? Because she's not, you know, keen to the D&D lingo.
Yeah, she's not super tight with D&D, but she's trying to be part of the group and wants to learn these things.
Yeah, and then we're back at the Byers' house where Joyce is pleading with Will to tell her the truth. She shows him what she found on the video and is also holding up the drawing. And, you know, she's saying these episodes you're having, I think they're real, but you have to talk to me about it, please. Like, no more secrets. You need to tell me. And I feel like, Eric, I pointed out in the last one that I felt, or maybe it was the one before, where I feel like, if anything, these kids are sharing a lot more than I maybe necessarily would have expected, although they're super scared. So that's probably has to do with that. But so I found that interesting that she felt like he was keeping a secret.
And he was. But
the details,
Well, but he said that drawing was something that, you know, he was doing for a book cover. No, it's not.
Sure, okay. True.
No, it's not.
Yes, right.
Right. I mean, they are sharing more. Some of it is like, you know, with the Department of Energy. So it's like sanctioned. And I think by doing that, they have all just been aware that this is something that only this small group of people will ever really know about. And so you have to be able to talk to people about this. So having the kids talk to the adults, and the adults being Joyce and Hopper, like that's it. Like you're not you don't see Nancy and Mike talking to their parents about it. Right. Even though their parents were in to the fray, like adjacent, They weren't.
Well, and we haven't even seen them asking questions. I mean, we haven't really seen any of that dynamic, I guess, for what it's worth, but you'd at least think that you would have seen some type of engagement, I guess, more engagement with the family, but that maybe
with
is
the Wheeler
more,
family.
Yeah, but maybe I guess that's just more indicative of the time
Listen, there's nothing about the Wheeler parents that makes me say, "Oh yeah, they want to engage in this situation."
And we don't know how much even Dustin's mom knows. I
don't think Dustin's mom knows
Lucas's
anything.
Parents know, right?
Yeah, it does not. We never saw Dustin's parents. We never saw Lucas's parents. So I don't imagine that they know anything. At all. The Wheeler parents are adjacent to the situation. My guess is, or my understanding of it, is that they still think this is like some kid on the loose that was part of like the Russians, and that they're worried about that.
That's what I was thinking too. They believe the story that's been
spun to them. Mm-hmm. So the kids can talk to Joyce and Hopper because they were in it. They were literally in it. Yeah. So they know.
And here we have Will. And here we have Will really confessing that, hey, yeah, actually I did see that thing again and it was on the field. And, Joyce is trying to figure out what it is and he doesn't know, it's more like a feeling. And it was similar to what you had at the arcade and he's saying, yeah, but he doesn't know what it wants. It came for him and he's trying to make it go away, but he's saying it got me, Mom. I mean, how heartbreaking would that be to hear your kid say that? Yeah. It's just like awful. And he just is saying that he felt it everywhere and he can now still feel it. And he wants it to be over. And Joyce is just promising that she'll fix it, and
that's hard. How do you even promise that? You're going to say it to make your kids feel better, but that's like an impossible promise to make. You don't even know what you're dealing with here. But that being said, she was able to walk into the Upside Down and find him and carry him back out. So if she can do that, she's got to feel pretty good about her abilities to fix this situation.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And 11 is then arriving back to the cabin and we just see Hopper by the glow of his cigarette standing on the deck waiting. And where did you go on your field trip is what he's asking. And, wants to know if anyone else saw her. But then very quickly it escalates and they're screaming at each other because she doesn't want to talk to him at all. And, she wants to leave and he wants to keep her safe. And he wants her to follow those 3 rules, but she is all set with that. And he's trying to treat her as he would his daughter or any other normal child. And he's telling her that she's grounded. And she's using her powers to really to stop him. And I think also to remind him of who she is, and he just keeps raising the punishment. And finally just unplugs the television. And she tells him that he's just like Papa. Yeah. And that's when he threatens to send her back to the lab. This is all very much like a teenage temper tantrum, but with powers.
This whole scene was crazy. Because it is Hopper trying to act like a parent with a typical child and realizing that he really can't. But everything that he tries to elevate, he recognizes he's outmatched here. Like, he can't stop her from doing these things. The only way that he can actually prevent her from doing some of these things is to have a positive relationship with her so that she just won't want to go against him. But he certainly doesn't lean into that because he's mad and she's mad. And I don't think he unplugged the TV. I think he literally ripped the cord out of the television.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because if he just unplugs it, she can plug it back in. Like, that's not a big deal. I think he
Right.
broke the TV.
And that was like the thing that she would use to access Mike at all at that point. So that's pretty rough.
Yeah. And saying things like, well, no TV for a week, no TV for 2 weeks, no TV for a month. Like, and then watching him try to move it or turn it, and then she's freezing it in place. Like, it's one of those things, you know. Okay, so I've mentioned a few times on some of these podcasts that on my day job, I am a teacher. And one of the things they tell us is to not get into the power struggle with the kid because you're not going to win this. Like, there's no way to win this. So you want to avoid getting into these sorts of situations. And Hopper just dives right into it. And the only way that he's seeing a way out is by elevating and elevating and elevating and elevating. And what happens when he does that? So does she. And there's no win here, right? There's no way to win this. So that is just like argument dealing with 101. You can't just yell back and forth. You are only going to lose this. So we get into this real weird situation where they've both essentially got into this screaming match with each other, and Elle gets into her corner and screams and literally shatters all the windows in the cabin. And it almost looked like, I don't know about you, it looked like there was a shadow like put on the wall around her. I don't know if that was accurate or not. Like, it was almost like a heat source, like blasted against the back wall.
Oh, shoot. I didn't notice that. But yeah, the glass shattering everywhere. That's not good. That's
Nope. No, it was bad. It was bad. And there's a lot of repairing here that Hop's got to do. And he has to be the one to do it.
And we do know that when she screamed really loud at a different point, I mean, she was in that black space, that purgatory area. But when she screamed after she saw the Demogorgon, that's what also created that gate. So
we've seen her do this a few times where she has screamed and broken things.
Yeah.
So like when she has enough emotion, she can do some serious damage.
Yeah. So, but then we're back with Jonathan arriving back home and calling for his mom and Will, but not finding them. And he did end up going into Will's room and he found them asleep in there. And then the camera kind of zooms in on Will's eyes moving like really fast behind his eyelids.
Well,
like, you know, they move when we're dreaming, but this was like some intense.
Well, but this was not even eyes. This was like something else is in there. Like he had like bugs or something in there that were moving.
No.
No.
Eyes. Yeah.
No, this was protruding out of his eye more than your typical eye. Like if I move my eye side to side, you don't see this bulge going side to side.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think those were his eyes.
Well, I'm interpreting it as something else is moving those eyes. Okay. Like that they were bulging out of his eye socket way more than his typical eye would be. I'm gonna
go back to this later.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, like was there something physical behind his eyes?
We'll go curious. On and then I'll double back.
Yeah. So Nancy was then telling her mom that, so we're at the Wheeler's house where she's saying, hey, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with the girls after school, whoever those are. But then gets into Jonathan's car outside, and that's where you hear the Clash playing. Cool song. Yeah. And you know, Nancy's not hanging out with anyone to study after school. She is going to be up to something with Jonathan that is relating to that call rather to Barb's parents.
Yeah. Yeah. She's learned though that if she says it in a really chill way and it just is like, oh, we're just going to go do girl stuff, then Mrs. Wheeler's like, sure, sounds great. See ya. Like doesn't even question it.
No, not at all.
So learned how to do it.
Absolutely.
Move on. And now let's go hunt the monsters.
Yeah. And then we have Joyce trying to reach Hopper again and again. So she's been trying to call him and he is just not there. She's taking Will's temperature to find out it is in like a hypothermic state. Like it is about 95 degrees. So
yeah, 95, 96 is what the thermometer was saying. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's like, something wrong with this thing. No, something is going on with Will still. And he says he feels like he still hasn't woken up yet.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So he's in like a dream-like state. And then we are with Dustin where he's heading out the door for school and just kind of throws a towel casually over the tank where Dart is. I'm sure that'll be fine. And
It will not.
and the rest of the kids are still at school looking for Dart, right? So
yeah.
it's
Dart's
like
looking pretty chubby, by the way, these days. He's looking a little bit bigger than even the last time we saw him.
Yeah. So he's still growing really fast because remember we left things off. It was this hasn't even been 24 hours. So he's growing really fast, and Dustin is also faking the other boys to help them try to find, and Max to help them try to find Dart. It's just not cool. Again, so he's keeping up with this lie.
He's late. He's late there though. Like like Lucas is in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Literally digging through, looking, and Dustin shows up and Max and Mike are already there, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" "We're just still looking for Dart." And he's like, "Oh, right. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I've got Dart."
Dustin.
Like, you can see it in his face.
Yep.
Then they do this cool scene here where they go back. They're in the school, and you're into the science class with Mr. Clark, and he is talking about organisms and how they handle fear, and with hearts pounding and sweating. And you get this back and forth here where you're also seeing Will walking towards the tub.
Yes.
With warm water.
Uh-huh.
And he is freaking out.
Yep.
You can see his heart pounding, the sweat starting to drip, the goosebumps forming.
So he's having
on
that
him
reaction that the science
because he's having the reaction that
Uh-huh.
any organism would have that Mr. Clark is talking about, just walking towards a warm bathtub.
Yeah.
And so he asks
Joyce
to come up and cool down the temperature, and she says, "Well, I can cool it down a little." And then he responds, "No, he likes it cold."
What?
And then walks away.
He likes it cold. What?
And that's when it's like, okay, we are officially into the crazy.
That is not okay.
This is where if we go back to the eyes a little bit, it's like, okay, so Will is clearly being controlled by something that's in him.
No doubt. I just think he might have
I'm
buggy
looking
eyes.
at those eyes moving. Looking at those eyes moving back and forth, thinking, this is like something that is in him. These eyes are not standard. These are pushed out of his head, or something is like we saw all the smoke go through his eyes.
It's true. Yeah. Oh no.
It's very possible that it's just building up there behind his eyelids.
Yeah. And then I like this scene where Hopper is like strongly considering apologizing to Elle through the door, but then instead he decides to tell her to clean up before he gets back. And
that is a massive mistake on Hopper's part.
Yeah.
Because he has to be the one. He has to be the one to like outreach the apology.
Absolutely.
He has to be the one to apologize here. Even though he is not the one that did something wrong.
Yeah.
He has to be able to when it comes to she broke the rules.
Yeah.
That's how he's viewing it in his head.
Exactly. But it's like, dude, you have to, this is not a normal situation either.
This is not a normal situation. And you want to keep her contained, following the rules as best as possible. Okay.
Yeah.
You have got to be the one that bridges this gap and makes everything, okay.
Yeah.
And
then
didn't choose that path.
And then when you have him getting in his car to go to the station, he's hearing his, his office is telling him, hey, Joyce has called 8 times, right? Like, she won't stop calling. Please get in touch with her.
Yeah, and again, you get the secretary who is clearly just like, can you go see Joyce
It's just
for
Joyce.
my sanity?
Right.
Like, it's just Joyce.
Right.
Like, it's still the stigma of Joyce is not a trustworthy source in this town.
Yeah. And then we have apparently Billy and Tommy are just always in gym class with Steve. I don't know. So we have another like they're getting out of gym class and they're like,
well,
I
will say,
yeah.
No, you're good. But like, so Billy during this little basketball game, right?
Yeah.
I'm torn on how I want to feel about Billy in this moment because Billy beats Steve on the edge, goes up, makes the shot, and then he goes to pick up Steve.
Yeah.
And he says to him, hey, keep your feet planted, take the charge.
I know.
Which is sound basketball advice for what Steve should have done defensively in that position.
Yeah.
And then you cut to them in the showers where it's a little weird.
I think he's trying to, it's almost like he has, well, as we find out more about Billy too, it becomes just clearer, but it's not like he's just this evil person. He's dealing with a lot of stuff, and I think that comes out in a lot of rage and a lot of insanity. But then you do have these glimmers of like, wait, yeah, what's up with this guy? Like, what are his intentions here? Like, what is he trying to do?
It's almost because then what is it? Tommy is the one who tells
Tommy
Steve
is the worst.
That he is, but he's the one who tells Steve that John and Nancy both skipped school. What do you think that's all about? Blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
Certainly leaves it open to interpretation.
Exactly.
And Billy is the one with the soft advice, like, hey, listen, there's plenty of girls out there.
That's right.
No problem. Like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. So very interesting that Tommy's there to twist the knife, and then you have Billy almost not being.
Well, Tommy and Steve are just not going to get along.
No,
ever again.
that's done.
That's just not going to be a thing. Billy is new. And so I think there's an opportunity for Billy to say, hey, this is the guy who used to run this school. Mm-hmm. If it's me and him, we're unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever that means in high school, right? Love that. Run this school. Like, what?
Hey, listen, it's a thing,
so
though.
ridiculous.
It's a thing that people care about.
Like tribal.
It's a thing that people care about.
But then we have Nancy and Jonathan in the park where they said that they were going to meet up with Barb's mom. And they're getting real paranoid, as I would too. It's like they're looking around and just feeling like everyone at that park is looking at them. And that is with good reason, because they're not wrong. They decide to get up and leave, and this like bespeckled man is following them, or maybe he's not following them. They're not really sure. So of course then the car won't turn on. Like, oh my God, in this moment, this is of course the thing that's going to happen. And now they're just surrounded by all these people that are like looking in the window and smiling very, very creepily and like just smirking at them and offering to help. And
well, this just proved exactly what they were expecting, which is when they make a phone call and say something like that, these people are showing up.
Oh yeah, and
like they're listening. They are listening for sure.
I don't know what I would do in this scenario, but I certainly wouldn't be unlocking my doors and getting out of my car. Like I don't know what type of like standoff would be going down here, but I don't know, because then we find them in the interrogation room in a few scenes, but I'm like, how did this unfold? Like I almost wish that they had shown how exactly that went down. I mean, I'm assuming they just went with them, but you don't know who they are. Like they haven't shown any official badges or anything.
You
so
know
it's like,
who they are.
I know, but
you know who they are though.
I don't know.
Like they know exactly who these people are.
But
because
I wouldn't go with that.
They set it up that way.
I know, but I just feel like not I don't know. I don't fully understand how they went from being in the car surrounded by these people to then ending up in the interrogation room. I just wish they had shown that, my opinion.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Eh,
I do
yeah.
get it. And maybe, and that is potentially like a scene that was shot that then got cut for time.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And although this is the short episode, so I think they could have
This is.
But either way, then we're with Hopper, who is finally arriving at the buyers, and he's asking Will how he knows that this like shadow thing, I think is what he called it, likes it cold. And Will said he doesn't talk to him. He just knows things now. Things that he never knew
He
before.
doesn't have to think.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to think. I just know things.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, and Hopper is asking him what he knows, like their old memories, not my memories though. So this is sounding like he just kind of is tapped in, right? And they're pleading with Will to try to explain because they really want to understand what he's feeling, what this is like, and he's saying it's growing and spreading and killing. And it's like, okay, well, this is sounding extra dark now. So they really want him. Joyce then is looking over and sees the crayons and knows that that is how Will expresses himself. So this is perfect. And so she wants him to draw it. And he immediately starts going nuts on these crayons, and he is just drawing really fast. So it must be in their blood between him and Joyce because they both are just real speedy and articulate with these crayons.
Well, he is drawing though a lot.
Oh.
I mean, he's got crayon sideways.
Oh yeah,
doing all sorts of stuff with it.
In a later scene, it's like he's like a printer, just throwing these things out. He's like drawing one, and then it's off his table, and there's another drawing started. So yeah. But then really quick, we're with Mike, where he's trying to call the buyers, and he's telling the group that they need to talk in the AV club room, but they keep Max out.
Party members
again.
only.
Right, yeah, poor Max.
Party members only.
It's like, what the heck, Mike? Like, come on. Like, I think we need to start bringing Max in, but he's still, and although part of me gets it, it's like, this is a lot. And they don't even really know. I feel like they want to figure it out first so that they can kind of explain things better to Max. I don't know. So
here's the thing. I don't listen. I want Max to get pulled into this because I know what happens in the future.
Yeah.
But
in this moment,
if you are in this moment and you know that Mike and Lucas and Dustin have all agreed to not say anything to anyone, anytime that they're going to talk about what's going on in the Upside Down, they have to keep her out.
Yeah, it's true.
And they know this. And Lucas and Dustin would love to bring her in, but even they know, listen, sorry. But from Max's perspective, it looks like they're just keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And while they are keeping a secret, it is a thing that they have agreed to in principle.
It's true.
That they're not telling anybody this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, and then when she says, well, did you keep secrets from Elle? Oh, that's later. But when she brings that up,
it's like,
you get the whole like, well, how did you even know about that? And so we start to unravel this a little. But that's maybe a few minutes.
Yeah,
from
and
now.
here we have Mike telling the guys about how Will saw something in the Upside Down on Halloween. And Mike is going to see Will after school and tells the guys to keep looking for Dart. That's right, Dustin, at the school, because it may be the key.
Had a moment here.
Helping Will. This is your moment. I had that written down too in caps. I'm like, Dustin, this is the time. What the heck? Like,
this is your opportunity to say something and you didn't. What are you doing? It's just really painful to watch Dustin continue to make the same mistake over and over again.
And then we're with 11 cleaning up the cabin. So she's actually taken steps here to clean things up. And Eric, I'm curious what you think about this scene because I have thoughts. On
her cleaning stuff up?
Well, no. So she's putting books away and sweeping, and she's opening up this floor latch. Like she finds that there is actually storage underneath the floor of the cabin. And there are like a ton of boxes, right?
Yeah.
And she just finds this Hawkins box, like pretty much immediately. It's like there are like, I don't know, 30 boxes down there, like covered in dust.
It seems like there's a lot of boxes.
There were a lot of boxes, and I just find it really funny that she like stumbled upon this Hawkins lab box like right away. Although I guess it could be argued that it might have been in the front because it was maybe some details were added recently. I don't know. But she's just going through these files and just like finding this one file super fast. Like the whole thing just happened really quickly. And I don't know.
Well,
I just found that.
Okay.
I found that a little bit weird.
As far as, I mean, yeah, there is some of that. Like this would have taken a little bit longer to do, but there is the idea for me is that they open the latch, and this has been a cabin that's been in Hopper's family for a while.
Yeah.
Right? So I assume there are many boxes under there that have been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And this box would have been one of the more recent boxes that was put under there.
Right.
So do I think that do I think Hopper, knowing who he is, would have done a better job at hiding it?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I do. But do I also think that people have a tendency to put those sorts of boxes just closest to the door?
To where you are.
Yeah, because this is the most recent thing you used. So, like, I'm going to put it right here. And he's just going to hope that she never finds it, which is crazy because she's in that house all by herself forever. She's going to find everything.
Also, these aren't in, like, Tupperware. These are just these paper, filing boxes. And it's, like, out in this cabin. In the elements, I mean, these things would have been destroyed. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that there are enough scenes here in between Elle finding the box with Hawkins' lab written on it.
That's true.
To her finding the file.
Yeah.
That I could suspend disbelief and think, I don't know how much time has passed here, but she's clearly gone through a lot.
I mean, it can't be more
before she finds the file that we're interested in.
Yeah, it can't be more than a few hours. This is one day and it looks...
It's also 11. She's got all kinds of powers. Like, who knows how fast she can read.
That's true. But in the meantime, we're with Nancy and Jonathan. Now this is the scene where we see them detained. And Mr. Owens, or Dr. Owens rather, comes into the room. And
yes, get his name right.
That's right, Dr. Owens. I apologize, Paul Reiser. And he's saying, mistakes have been made. And Nancy's like, mistakes? Yes. You killed Barbara. If I'm the guy they brought in to make it better. He's saying, I'm the guy they brought in to make it better. This is what Dr. Owens is telling them. And he wants to show them what really killed Barb. And he's bringing them to that, glass now that they have over the gate. And he's showing that to them. And, if the Soviets found out about this, do you know what would happen, is what he's saying. And we have to stop this from spreading by whatever means necessary. And then you just have this dude with like a flamethrower. This is reminding me very much of Aliens again, where she's just, taking out this thing with a flamethrower because that's all that works. The guns, none of that matters. None of that affects it. So that's exactly what this scene reminded me of. And they're just kind of watching through. And I don't know I don't think he understands their level of understanding of the Upside Down that they've been.
No, he definitely does, because this is a two-handed situation.
Okay.
He is explaining that, listen, we can't close this. We can't fix what has happened, but we can keep it from spreading.
Okay.
The implication also being, hey, we can't fix that you know this.
Yeah, okay, fair.
But we can keep this from spreading by any means necessary.
Okay.
And then they start breaking the flamethrower out, which is also the implication of, if you two don't keep quiet, we will exterminate you to keep this quiet. 100%.
Yeah, Eric, that's a really good point. I did not pick up on that. Wow. Well, maybe people have threatened me in the past and I had no idea. So I don't know.
Well, there you go. But the idea
that's
of
a good point.
Them spreading the word in the same way that the door is spreading its, vine things out. Is exactly the same. And so when he shows them like flame throwing the spreading, the implication is we will destroy you to keep this word quiet if we have to.
Yeah. And then we're with Will just throwing out those drawings like a printer, as we were talking about before, where he is just scribbling away like a maniac. And they are... Oh, and for all of you that don't know, a printer is something that we used to use attached to our compuder that would actually print documents.
We use them every
paper.
now and then still today.
As I'm saying that, I'm like, I never use printers anymore. Like I really...
No, like I said, I work at a school. I use them enough, but like, that's about it. I don't need a hard copy of.
I used to have paper stuff, like of anything. Tiny tangent, but I was just looking through. I still have in our safe, this one of those accordion filing system things, and I was just reminiscing on how I used to keep like all of my different bills divided and each thing, and now everything is just paperless. Like, it's so great. I do enjoy that just. Tiny tangent there that I like not having to keep all these paper records anymore. So
the idea of keeping paper records is very interesting. It all really depends on who you are. And do you want, are you responsible enough to remember to maybe pay a bill, even if nobody tells you to?
Well, or email reminders. That's what that is. Or just
but you also then have to be willing to check your email.
Oh, okay.
I know there are plenty of people, myself included, who have many unread emails in their email box.
And I know a lot of people do that. That is one of I'm very OCD with like my email.
Oh, no.
I have always cleared out my inbox. I do not have like thousands of unread, which I know many people that live this way. This is chaos.
Trying to pull mine up right now.
People. So yes, I do.
Pretty sure I have like 1,600 unread emails.
Oh my gosh.
None of them are
important. I can't. Don't show it to me.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, this is, we've talked about this because I've sent you emails. You're like, I have no idea. If you emailed that to me,
text me.
I can't be expected to know. Oh, texting isn't good either. Okay. Anyway, we could, that's a whole other podcast. But so
people will find me if they need me.
So these drawings anyway, they are covering his bedroom floor, and they kind of just look like nothing but scribbles. But Joyce is then realizing this is looking like a puzzle, and they start moving. They're moving the furniture around so that they can just clear out this whole space on the floor in the living room, and they're connecting all of these pieces together. And
this is the season 2 version of of putting the Christmas lights out.
Exactly.
They are realizing, okay, there's something here that we can work with. We need to make this happen. They don't have to destroy the house as badly, but they can still put it all together. Yeah.
This time they're just laying them on the floor. They're not drilling holes into the wall or like painting, grease. A Greece alphabet or whatever that was. Anyway,
so aggressive paint.
But Hopper is saying that they're vines, and he puts his hat on and he is heading right out the door and realizing I'm starting to connect the dots here. And
he's also been dealing with all this pumpkin patch stuff.
Exactly.
And I don't know that Joyce even knows about that.
I don't think so.
But,
I don't think
like, why would she?
Right.
So now he's got a few dots starting to connect,
That's
which
right.
is really good
Yeah,
for him.
And back at the school, this is Eric, that scene that you were touching on where
Yes.
Max was really upset because she's being left out of everything, and Lucas is trying to explain. And I love that you're starting to see this bond between like Lucas and Max more and more. Like he's kind of been the one filling her in on what's going on, and she's going to him when she's upset about the situation. And Lucas is trying to explain that there are things that he can't tell her though, because of her own safety. So again, you have Lucas, I feel like coming in with like, he's always trying to be the level-headed one of the group.
Yep.
And, and her safety is the most important. And that's when she's asking though, did you keep secrets from Elle? How did you know about Elle? I just do. And he's like,
and so that becomes then a moment where Lucas has got to say,
yeah.
okay, well, we got a leak here somewhere. One of you said something.
Uh-huh.
One of you said something to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, we're getting into dangerous territory. But if we're going to tell her about 11, we might as well tell her about everything that went down.
Well, right, because then it's like, well, where is this girl now? Oh, she's just gone. And it's like, and it was different. It's like, well, why was it different? It just was, it's like, and she's like,
wasn't going to cut it.
And she's like, well, you know what? Have a nice life. I'm out. And she's all set with this. And then you have Billy leaning against his car, just looking absolutely psychotic, in my opinion here. Yes. Watching the whole argument. And, with Lucas, who he's kind of just like glaring from afar. And then when Max gets in the car, clearly upset, he's asking, who was that? And he wants to know why he was talking to her. And asking if he's, if he's causing her trouble, and almost like he's going to be protective in this moment, even though he is mostly an ass all the time to her. So he's telling her it's serious shit. That's right. Yeah. It seems protective initially, but then he grabs her wrist really aggressively and violently and like saying like he wants to protect her, right? So it's like this, you gotta love that type of person where it's like, I'm gonna protect you as I like hurt you, It's so messed up. So messed up and abusive.
This to me did not read as protective as much as it did threatened.
Well, he's saying protective and he's, acting like he's gonna keep her away from this other kid, but with aggressive force. So yeah. Protect her by hurting her.
So but watching Billy interact with Max is infinitely different than watching Billy interact with Steve now. Mm-hmm. Steve, like his interactions with Steve, maybe in the previous episodes weren't so kind, but you see him today and it's like, okay, well, maybe there's a guy there that is willing to at least be, I don't want to say friends, but I don't know what word am I looking for here, where it's just, you can both be in existence civil, and not be in each other's way.
Yeah, acquaintances.
There you go. I'll take that. Yeah, civil.
Yeah.
The two of them have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Can be civil and not necessarily go against each other, and they can both still, there's room for both of them at the top of the swimming pool that is the Hawkins High School situation. And I apologize for not knowing the name of the high school, which I probably should know.
Yeah, but he's saying he's just saying stay away from that kid. Stay away. Like, what the heck?
That's what I'm saying.
My God.
His relationship with Max is very much not civil. It is aggressive and extremely aggressive. We have not only seen him leave her there, we have seen him attempt to run her friends off the road in a car, and we have now seen him threaten to stay away from the one kid that he has seen her talk to.
Yeah, and he's clearly just a really angry kid, and it's something that he freely expresses to Max and that to me, tells me that because Max is privy to whatever is kind of going. Like Max is
Well,
has an inside track into something that's going on in their family life, right? So it's like he's just full
well,
on, I'm expressing this to you, and it's messed up. But yeah.
we also had in the last episode him chastise a peer of his for calling Max his sister.
Uh-huh.
Yet in this episode, he's like, listen, we're family.
Yes, right.
So
like,
what is this
going on? That's why he's just crazy. This guy, he looks nuts. Like the way that he was even watching from afar, I was just like, I'm afraid of Max even getting into this car. And then when he grabs her and assaults her, essentially, like messed up, like just really, really aggressive.
Yeah.
So, but then we're back with Hopper in the pumpkin patch with a shovel. And so we know where he's at, just as we suspected.
He's digging.
Going right back, and he's digging. And that's really all I had for that quick scene.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of walks out into the middle and he's like, well, this feels like a good spot. And he just starts digging.
Yeah.
But then this is where we get back to 11 in the cabin where she finds the file on Terry Ives, which does, like there's been enough things that have happened where you could have argued she's had enough time to look through the entire box, or at least through some of the box, and happened upon this file.
Yeah.
But this is where she's flipping through. She's seeing a photo of Papa. She's seeing the headlines on the articles that imply that, this woman had a daughter taken from her.
Jane.
She sees the name Jane. She sees the picture then of Papa with this other woman. And she's starting to put it together that maybe this is Mama.
Yeah,
and so she grabs a radio and decides, hey, I'm going into the darkness here.
And I did struggle with that a little bit, just because it's like, well, would you assume that it was you, that you were the baby?
We had a scene a couple episodes ago where she was reading a story, or Hop was reading a story, and she asked where her mother was.
That's right. Yep.
And Hop said she's not around.
Yep.
And so didn't say she had died.
Yeah.
Just said she wasn't around.
Yeah.
And so 11 is questioning, where is Mom?
Yeah.
Like that has to be out there. Everybody has a mom. So where is my mom? And so it's possible that, if you are in that position, if you are grasping at straws, and now you know that this woman had a daughter, you're a girl, who was taken from her, and the timeline matches up, that it's very possible that this could be your mom. Now, is it a big leap to take? Yeah. Could she have gone down this rabbit hole with maybe previous files that she found in the box and be like, oh, that's not it, and moved on? We don't know that. I assume not. But it is plausible that this could work out. That being said, so you don't know until you find out.
And so she's putting on the blindfold and holding the radio and the picture to her chest. And so she's really trying to channel and get into that photo, sort of, or just channel the feeling behind that picture. And she's then in that black space again and sees Terry in her rocking chair. And she's saying 3 to the right, 4 to the left, rainbow.
She starts with rainbow. Rainbow, 3 to the right, 4 to the left. And then repeats it again. Rainbow, 3 to the right.
Okay.
And I had to put on my closed captioning to be able to understand what she was saying, because she's mumbling.
And then she's, and
I forgot about this. This is my first rewatch of these episodes, and I know what this is, but I forgot about what this was.
Yeah. Yes. And then she's saying Jane. And then Elle is saying Mama.
Well, she says Jane when she steps in front of her. Like she can see her almost.
Like she can feel her presence.
Yeah.
And Elle is saying Mama, and she reaches for her hand, And then she vanishes into dust. It was so, it just, I got choked up there. It's like she was so close to actually making this connection with her mom. And then she's just crying and alone. And it's like, yeah, it was just an emotional scene. Just feel really bad for Elle here. And then we're back with Mike at the buyer's house where Joyce is telling him he's at the door and he's trying to see Will. And Joyce is saying that Will isn't feeling well. And Mike tells her, though, it's about the shadow, or he's asking, it's about the shadow monster, isn't it? Because he knows. Will has confided in him.
Yep.
And he, I think, wants Joyce to know that he knows.
Yeah, and but that's a big moment because she's trying to hide it all still. And when he says that, Joyce is like, hey, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And then, listen, they've been in on this the whole way. Maybe Mike can help with something. You don't know.
Yeah.
So bring him in.
Right.
And I think and I think he does get brought in at that point.
And I do. It's like, I get it from Joyce's perspective. She doesn't want to like get these kids involved again if she doesn't have to. Well, like she's trying to handle this just as the parent. But this is crazy. Yeah.
This goes back to the end of season 1 where they all got together and they needed each other. They needed all the information that all of them brought to the table to patchwork what the Upside Down was all together. And they all figured it out with all the information that they had all gathered individually. And then, as soon as they do this, the adults are like, okay, we'll see you guys later. You guys all stay here. Like, wait a minute. They were just as impactful, if not more impactful, on gathering information that you guys had no idea existed.
Yeah.
And so,
I think,
why would you try and keep Mike out? You know Mike's in the know.
I think it's true. I think it's just like they are trying to be still the adults and just handle it without the kids, right?
Those days are long gone. Listen, Joyce, Hopper, all the boys, and 11, like, you're all a squad. You are all together. This is your team, and Nancy and Jonathan. Like,
and one of those children who is now new to the group was literally the reason why this monster even now is handled, was pushed out of their universe. So but then we're with Nancy and Jonathan at the Department of Energy, and they're being let out. So they've been released and they are peeling out of there. And Nancy,
the car works too automatically. How about that?
I know. I thought the same thing of like.
Well, no, it just implies that they did something to the car to like make it not work. That way it wouldn't go anywhere. That way they could hold them.
Oh,
yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I haven't been picking up on all these.
Yeah, like that's the obvious move here. Like they pulled the spark plugs out or something, and all of a sudden it no longer worked, and so the car comes back. They put it back in, and they're like, "Oh, look at that! It works now. Yeah, off you go."
And that was maybe like a deleted scene where like the guy like holds up like a spark plug or something. I don't know. It's like so where he's like, yeah, got this. Is that even something you can hold up?
I don't know. But I feel like I've seen that.
Do you have any mechanics listening?
I'm by no means a mechanic, but I've seen something along those lines in a number of other TV shows or movies. Well,
this is now just reminding me of like Cable Guy, where Jim Carrey just holds up the wire, even though it has nothing to do with any of the wires that he's cut. He's just like, hey, look at this.
Yep.
This busted wire. Anyway, but yeah, right here. So they are back in the car, and Nancy has recorded this whole thing on tape. So it seems like this was maybe also, this could be interpreted in a different way, that this was all part of their plan.
Yes. No, I in fact believe that is in fact the case.
Oh, because like, even if they hadn't disabled their car, so then I guess another way you could look at it was like, was Jonathan like pretending to not be able to start his car, and they wanted to go in with them so that they could record this conversation.
I mean, that's possible too. I more looked at it like Nancy and Jonathan wanted to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to get taken in here, which is why when you say, hey, we never see them get taken in and brought, it's because they did it. They willfully went.
Willingly.
Because
fair.
they wanted to be there so that...
All right, you got us, guys.
So that Nancy could get the recording.
That's
so
right.
that they could go on out and prove to the world this is what's going on.
And well, Nancy's saying, let's burn this lab to the ground. And then...
Well, because the implication now is that they're going to go tell... they're going to tell Barb's parents. And they're going to be like, here it is. Boom. This is what happened. Yeah. And now you've got the evidence. Now what happens from here? Psh, who cares?
Well, in this next scene, though, we have Dustin at home. And his mom is looking for the cat. And you just know... something's gone wrong here.
Well,
we go into Dustin's room. I can't even.
I know this is your scene. Go for it.
But Dustin goes into his room, and Dart has just shattered the terrarium, and Dart is just gigantic, and he is behind Dustin's chair, eating the cat. Mew Mew. Rest in peace. R.I.P. Mew Mew. I don't even know. I would just like immediately murder this thing. But this, it turns around and it is a Demogorgon. I mean, it is, if anyone hadn't figured it out yet, this was a baby Demogorgon. I mean, the way that it even opened its little mouth when it was a baby, like it went in that little circle, and now it's a circle, but it has the flower around it as well.
So now you would argue, hey, this little dart thing, it doesn't have a face. Doesn't have a face.
Exactly. What else didn't have a face, Dustin? I mean, come on, dude. And it is like the size of a toddler now. And now
it's much bigger than a cat. That's for sure.
This was awful. So, yep. And he's just kind of staring at it, just
like he now knows he's made many mistakes.
Oops.
All in a row.
Freaking Dustin. So then we're with Hopper in this really brief scene where he is digging and digging and digging in these pumpkin patches until he reaches a vine.
I mean, he's dug a hole that is about 3 times bigger than the one that Joey dug on the beach in Friends. I'm just saying, it's a big hole.
I'm digging the huge hole. And and he hops into this hole, and it kind of literally, I love how they did this visually, because the camera sort of flips upside down, and it like you're going in a spiral with him as he's just jumping into this tunnel, and you're in the upside down with him. And
now
there's all these like particles floating around, and it's spiraling, and it's crazy. And that's the end.
And that's how we end here. And I will say that I do have a little bit of an issue with this, because I don't love the fact that through the first season, in order to get to the upside down, we had to have such a blast of energy that a gate would open. And now Hop can just dig into it with a shovel? Like, what is that?
So the way that I look at that is, in the first season, how like you had those portals through the trees.
Yeah.
They were in the tree trunks. I think it has just become that much more pervasive because of what came through with Will too.
Yeah.
That it's literally now like in all of the vines. So it's not just in a couple trees in the woods. It is like through
spreading.
Their agriculture. And that's why all these pumpkins are dead and everything is dying because it's in their earth.
So you could argue that at the Department of Energy, they are like flame throwing all the vines that they can see, but they're not flame throwing the stuff that's underground, getting out of there, going all over the place. I do like that because outside of that, I go, well, what is this? Like, just anybody with a shovel can jump into the upside down now? Like, I don't love that. But knowing that it's, like, grown and is out there, I can get behind that theory.
And I think it's, like, because in this field, it's all these root systems. Yeah, because otherwise it's like, oh, so someone's just trying to, like, put a basement in, and they're going to just be in the upside down. Like, just digging.
Right.
Like
didn't
anywhere,
go that
I don't
far.
know.
Like you dug a big hole, but it's not that far. Okay, like come on.
No,
so it's
right. It wasn't
right
like
under your
miles
feet.
down.
Now,
Right.
anybody doing construction could accidentally
Uh,
just tap into the upside down now.
right. Yeah. So really crazy,
Interesting.
but so now that's where Hopper is, and that's where we leave things.
Well, now we're going to jump into our IMDb segment where we are checking out the ratings. We are talking about our favorite and least favorite characters of the episode. And so let's start there. And I will go ahead first this time. I know I usually throw it to you. But for me, I feel like I had pretty clear favorite and least favorites in this one. And so I'll start with least favorite because I feel like that's always a little bit more fun. My least favorite character in this episode is Hopper. And it's not really all that close. It is largely because of the scene with 11.
Yeah.
Like, and then he has an opportunity to fix it. He has the chance to go back and rectify it in the next morning, and he doesn't. And so I do like what he does with Joyce, figuring out the puzzle, but the scene with 11, with him and her just yelling at each other, going back and forth, like, that is all on Hopper. That's not on 11. There are other ways he could have handled that would have smoothed things over and made it more efficient the way he would have liked. He's the one that drives me nuts.
I understand that, and I normally, I think we both normally love Hopper. He's been our favorite character.
Don't get me wrong.
It's like, but yeah, this episode wasn't the best. He's dealing with it the best he can, but yeah, just making some mistakes here. So I get that, and and I hate to pick on Dustin 2 weeks in a row, but I am gonna pick on you, Dustin, because you got your cat killed, and I love cats. I mean, I love all animals, really, but I have a soft spot for cats, and this is just terrible, Dustin.
Well, what are you going to do? Like, you bring a Demogorgon in, and they're just going to hunt for cats.
I mean, the fact that he did not put 2 and 2 together, that this is I feel like that also doesn't, like, make sense for his character. So I think it's just been a little bit frustrating because it doesn't seem to be fitting with how they built his character, these decisions that he's making. But I also know, scientists, which Dustin is, through and through, sometimes they'll make, I think, unfortunate decisions at the cost of trying to, like, maybe have a discovery, which is how they were presenting this, right? Like, this is what he thought was his big moment. So, all right, but now you've got your cat killed, and we're in a fight. So, Dustin, I know you're going to make up for this with me, but it's rough right here.
I picked Dustin last week because I felt like he more actively hid the situation. This time, I don't feel like there was as much active hiding, but he did have chances to say something.
Oh yeah,
he
didn't. Actively hid.
So I totally get that. Yeah. So jumping to favorites.
Yes.
I'm going to pick somebody who I don't typically pick as my favorite character. I'm going to pick Joyce. Joyce, this was her episode. This was her figuring out the Christmas lights. This was her putting the puzzle together, her doing the best she can to try and help Will.
My God. Yeah.
I mean, she was doing everything that she could in her power.
Yeah.
I also think, like I said, this is largely like a transitioning episode to get us from A to B, as now we have tapped into the upside down.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to come in the next few episodes from here. But Joyce, this feels like a really strong episode for her.
Yeah. And also, I just want to really quick say, I could have easily picked Billy for being my least favorite in this episode, just from that scene with him and Max in the car. But I just felt like he wasn't in it enough. Like it didn't make as much of an impact because of how, like, Dustin, I feel like his actions kind of bubbled over from the last episode into this one, and so and the whole cat thing just stuck with me. But Billy also he did have some moments in this one too, as you pointed out, Eric, where he was like, all right, well, maybe he's trying to. But just him.
If I was going to pick Billy, I would have picked him for one of the other episodes this season so far.
There's going to be some upcoming where it'll be
or one of the ones that we've seen, like when he tried to run them off the road. Like there were no redeeming moments in that one. This one, I feel like he had at least a couple.
You're right.
Anyway, who's your favorite character, though?
But my favorite, yes. My favorite is Will for this episode because I just feel like Will is going through it. Like he has a lot going on. The poor kid is possessed at this point, saying that he doesn't like it cold. I mean, and he feels like he's in a dream state. This is a 13-year-old boy. I mean, he's just all alone dealing with this. He's trying to explain it to other people, but and he's dealing with it the best he can. He did stand up to this monster the way that Bob had suggested he did. And, things didn't go as expected, but he's really trying everything and also really trying to communicate to, Joyce and to Hopper. So I just really am with Will, and I felt like he did, and the actor did such a great job in this episode. When you look back, I saw something on social media this week of someone had a side-by-side of Will when the show first started and Will now, and it's he's just a full-on, he's a man now, and when the show started, he was just this little boy, and it's oh my goodness, he was so small. I mean, they all were little kids, but it's he was... It's really impressive. When I see children acting like this, it's it blows my mind a bit. And Will especially is just, wow. He does. I will say,
I have seen, as we are entering into the next, the final season here, and we are talking about a lot of changes from season 1 to season 5. I see a lot of that on my social media. Yeah. I have seen some of those where they do the side-by-sides, and to me, the one that always blows my mind is the other one that I would have considered for favorite in this one, which is Lucas. Lucas looks so different now than what he did in this this season and the one prior.
Yeah.
But Lucas also could have been the favorite. I think
Lucas was great in this one. Yeah.
He was trying his best to hold the group together. He was trying to keep Max together. He also was the one in the dumpster, looking for Dart. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a ton of scenes, but the scenes he had, I thought, were very good.
Yeah.
So I think he was also on the cusp. But I think kind of like your argument for Billy, maybe there just weren't enough scenes with Lucas in it to push it over the top for me.
Yeah. And I had this thought this week too about how, because I know I made mention of how I struggle with, and I know this show, a lot of people comment on the gap of time, right?
Yes.
So the series, we're still in this 4-year time period, 83 to 87, I think is where things are landing on season 5 or 88. But everything, obviously, because the show has taken many, many years to film, the kids are that much older.
Yeah.
To me, what I've really come to terms with, too, isn't the fact that, because, listen, we've all watched plenty of shows and movies where the actor is much older than the kid that they're portraying, right? So, 20-year-olds in high school, 25 years old playing a high school kid. That isn't the thing. I think what it is because they started, and 12 years old, you change so much from 12 even to in the normal course of 5 years, right? So that's already a big change. So then when there's even more years packed in, so it's really 8 years time that this is taking to shoot, the difference is just uncanny. So I think it's just because of how we saw them when it started. That's what makes it jarring. It's not that it's weird having older kids playing high schoolers or older people playing high schoolers. We saw them when it started.
Yeah.
And boys too. I feel like boys change a lot.
So if you took
over the course of those years.
You're not wrong. If you took a couple of 6th grade boys standard and then said, hey, what do you look like 2 years after high school? It's insanely different.
Yeah.
And so,
because even the course of.
So I don't know what the timeline exactly is going to be for all of these Stranger Things seasons. We're 1 year later now. I forget if they fast forward things through. I don't think they do too much.
I don't think
but
they do, no.
If the whole thing takes place over 5 or 6 years, genuinely, it's not that bad. It's not great, but like you see kids grow that much in that amount of time. It's a wild growth spurt, especially for boys. That is the wheelhouse of like growing up that happens. That being said, let's get into the ratings. And I will say Stranger Things has an average rating of 8.6. You can also go vote for these ratings on imdb.com. But all of these ratings have gone up so far. We had an 8.1 in the first episode of season 2, an 8.2 in the second, and then an 8.5 last week. You and I were also very close last week. I gave it an 8.5 exactly. You gave it an 8.4.
Yeah.
And you have gone up every single week, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4. So you're kind of with the people here. What do you want to rate this episode?
Okay, so I also want to make a quick comment that we still haven't seen back to those kids in the very first episode of this series, which is also bothering me a little bit. Just throwing that out there. The kids with the other girl with the number scrawled on her wrist, tattooed.
Oh, from the very first scene of this season. Yeah.
Yes, we still haven't gotten back there. So I keep thinking on that anyway, because I forget when exactly we go back to them. But either way, as far as the ratings go for this one, I actually did drop mine down. I still enjoyed this episode, but I felt like it wasn't the best of this season. I gave this one an 8.
An 8. Okay. So this was your least favorite episode of the season then?
Yeah.
Is it because of the cat?
You know what? The cat murder didn't help, but no, I feel like, you know what? I think I enjoyed it, but I felt like there wasn't as much that kind of evolved. Like we got bits and pieces of where things are going, so I still really enjoyed it, but it wasn't just to me as as impactful as moving as some of the others. How about you, Eric?
Okay, well, I will agree that I came down a little bit from last week. I've kind of ping-ponged back and forth. Like, I had an 8.4, and then I went to 7.9, because I thought maybe this will be the first one that drops below 8. And then I came up to 8.5 last week, and I'm going to bring it down a touch to 8.3. I think the first episode with the arcade and everything, that was better than this one. Last week's episode with the polywog, where 11 sees Mike and Max in the gym with the skateboard, and Dart is sprouting legs and running around. That is my favorite episode of the season so far.
Yeah, same.
So I'm going to give this an 8.3. It is interesting that the people have kind of voted it up as the season goes, so I won't be totally shocked if that trend continues. But this is also a shorter episode, so we'll see.
Maybe that's also why I felt like it wasn't as good. I don't know.
Well, the IMDb rating for this episode is an 8.5. So it is a little bit higher than I had. It's notably higher than what you had. But it does stay in line with what the fans have been doing. 8.1, 8.2, now 2 8.5s in a row.
Nice.
I think.
Okay, cool.
I think accessing the Upside Down is cool. I think the
Demogorgon.
Seeing the Demogorgon is cool. I think the 11 versus Hopper fight is unique and interesting, and I think meeting Terry Ives is interesting.
Yes.
Jonathan and Nancy kind of get lost in this episode. I feel like it's just not it's not their moment. They're building something, but we're not really sure what the impact of that will be. Billy still seems to just be lurking around, like not really sure what's going to happen there. I think we're all just waiting for Max to get connected too. It feels like
so. Yeah,
like that will help a lot.
Yeah.
But this is where we are, and I agree. I mean, listen, I had an 8.3. They were an 8.5. I don't think that's too far off in general. Like that's pretty close. I'll take it. I am optimistic though that as there are, I think there's 9 episodes this season. Is that right? I think so. I believe there are. Hold on. Yes, there are 9 episodes. So this next one is like the midpoint, and I feel in Stranger Things, the back half of the seasons always really take off. And sometimes the front half of the seasons are done just to kind of like let you know what's going on. Which is why when they're doing season 5 and they're like releasing the first 4 episodes together, and then it's going to be a couple, and then it's going to be like the last one, I think that's really smart because the first few episodes usually just kind of set you up for what's going to happen.
Well, and pretty soon we're going to have to be like double fisting these episodes with the new ones coming out at the end of this month. So we're going to have to, we're not going to be recording on those yet. But I know at least I am planning on watching the new episodes like right when they come out, and then we're going to rewatch them together and record episodes for those. But I'm going to be watching those simultaneously while still doing this rewatch.
Yeah, no,
so that's gonna.
We will certainly watch the new ones live as they come out, but will we do a podcast on them live? That will be interesting. I don't know what that's not necessarily in the game plan. I don't think, unless you want to do like a reaction to them.
No, I'm saying I'm going to be planning on watching, these old ones alongside watching the new releases as they come out. I will be too. And then, but yeah, no, I think to keep in the theme of our podcast here, we are a rewatch podcast. We are going to, thinking, watch them as they come out and then do a rewatch and then, share those rewatch episodes.
Put them all together.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the We Run on Reruns podcast. If you could, again, please check us out on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all of your socials. We would really appreciate any likes or shares or subscribes you could throw us there. Please check out our website, werunonreruns.com. And for Amanda, this is Eric. Please enjoy watching episode 5 of Stranger Things Season 2 this week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.